It's time for round 2 of the Championship. Blackburn against Blues. Now, on the opening weekend, Blackburn lost 1-0 to West Brom and Blues drew 1-1 against Ipswich. We will dive more into that game as this video goes on, so make sure to stick around and get my thoughts on that match. But both teams also played in midweek, and Blues beat Sheffield United 2-1 in the Carabao Cup. Blackburn lost 2-1 to Bradford. They were 2-0 down after about 5 minutes as well, so very poor start from Blackburn there. Here's to hoping we can get our first league win of the season. Make sure to get your predictions down below, like and subscribe, and let's get into Blues. So that performance on Friday night was brilliant, to be honest. The game against Ipswich, we were 1-0 up, we dominated for the first hour. The only thing that did slightly frustrate me is we went 1-0 up and then we let them have all the ball. It was like we kind of tried to hold on to a 1-0 lead, and there were some very big decisions in that game that went against us, just as there were in the Sheffield United game. I think we've had 4 big decisions now in the 2 games, and they've all gone against us. And they've both kind of cost us a goal in some way. But yeah, we sat off them and we let them kind of come at us, and I think that was a bit of a problem. You then saw that we didn't have much strength in depth from the bench, and we just fell into a bit of a poor shape. Ipswich didn't threaten all game. They had 1 shot on target, and it was the penalty that they were awarded, which was a very harsh penalty. And the biggest talking point for me from that game was the Kyogo disallowed goal. How on earth that was disallowed, I'll never know. And the thing is, we were up for it. It went in 6th or 7th minute, and I think if that goes in, we get a few before half time, because Ipswich's tails would have been between their legs and they wouldn't have known what to do. We would have been up for it even more, and I think we'd have got a couple. So the fact that that was disallowed for a genuine contestation of a ball that you see every week. You see those challenges for a ball happen every week, a bouncing ball over the top, and it's never penalised. Yet Kyogo uses his body well, gets a beautiful chip in over the goalkeeper, and it's disallowed. Again, I'm sure your thoughts will be the same as mine, but yeah, awful decision by the referee, and ultimately cost us a point. But there were plenty of positives to take. The performance from every player on the pitch that started that game was brilliant, and I mean, if we can add to that starting 11, get some more depth in, I don't see a reason why, after these first 2 competitive fixtures, why we aren't a top 6 side. We've played 2 of the toughest challenges in the league. Yes, Sheffield United had a heavily rotated squad, but we did in the same game. We made 6 changes for that cup tie, and we played both teams off the park. Should have beaten both, but yeah, we take the point, I guess. 2 points dropped, but we take it. So we sit 12th at the moment. Blackburn sit down in 19th. Again, you can't really look at the table after 1 game. It's just a 1 result. Maybe after 10 games, things might start taking shape. So if we dive into Blackburn, obviously Valerian Ismail's there, who only seemed to do well at Barnsley and has had a bit of a rough spell everywhere else he's gone. But we look at the players that performed well in that game, again based on stats, but Sean McLaughlin, a defender, Tronstad, midfielder, Toth, goalkeeper, Cargo, forward. So everyone that got a rating over 7 was all over the pitch, to be honest. And yeah, I mean, you look at our opening 4 fixtures, so we've got obviously Ipswich, forget the cup game, we've got Ipswich, Blackburn, Oxford, Leicester. I kind of said before the season, out of those 4 fixtures, if we are really serious about going for automatic promotion, could do with 10 points out of those possible 12. And yes, you could say that a league isn't won over 4 fixtures, of course it's not, but you need to carry on the momentum from last year. So this will be a much easier fixture, you'd hope, than Ipswich, as long as we don't make it difficult for ourselves. I mean, this Blackburn squad, I can't really see any standout players here. It doesn't look like a particularly good squad. It looks like one that will probably struggle this season. So, yeah, we should be winning this, obviously. Whether we do, I don't know, but I'm going to go for it because it's a game we should win. So, on to the prediction. I think this... It depends if we take our chances, because against Sheffield United we could easily have been 3-4-0 up at half time, made it 6 by full time. But, 1-0, stupid goal given away by Beale being off his line and the referee getting involved and not calling a drop ball, which was supposed to happen. Again, another big decision to go against us. But yeah, Stansfield won it at the end, so we got through, but we didn't take all the chances we had because we had so many. If we can be a bit more composed in front of goal, make sure we're clinical, I think we could win this game 3-0. But I am going to go on the cautious side and the fact that we weren't too clinical. So I'm going to go for... We'll go for a 2-0 win over Blackburn. I fancy the clean sheet, although it's our first away game of the season, so you don't know how that's going to go. We know St Andrews is a fortress, but can we perform on the road? We struggled there a bit last season. Obviously, all 3 losses in the league came away. Quite a few draws did as well. But can we push on away from home? There'll be 7,000 Blues fans there to cheer them on. And I think we get over the line. I'm going to go 2-0 to Blues. So make sure to get your predictions down in the comments, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.